The tiny home revolution, a big idea taking root. Folks, let's talk about houses. Not just any houses, but the kind that are redefining the way we think about living. Not those McMansions with more bedrooms than you can count, but something much more intimate and efficient. I'm talking about tiny homes. These compact dwellings are turning heads and challenging the way we think about living spaces. These homes are not just small, they are ingeniously designed to maximize every inch of space. The tiny house movement is more than just a fad. It's a response to some pretty big issues: rising housing costs, environmental concerns, and the desire for simpler living. It's a response to some pretty big issues: rising housing costs, environmental concerns, and the desire for simpler living. People are looking for ways to live more sustainably and affordably. And let me tell you, it's gaining traction. Workshops and events are popping up everywhere, teaching people how to build and live in these tiny spaces. Across America, people are downsizing, simplifying, and embracing the tiny house lifestyle. Families are finding joy in less clutter and more meaningful experiences. They're ditching massive mortgages for financial freedom. Imagine the relief of not being tied down by a huge mortgage payment every month. They're choosing to live with less stuff and more intention. It's about quality over quantity and making every item count. This isn't just about living in smaller spaces. It's about finding creative solutions, embracing sustainability, and redefining what it means to have a home. It's about finding creative solutions, embracing sustainability, and redefining what it means to have a home. Communities are coming together to share resources and support each other. It's about asking ourselves, do we really need all this stuff, or can we live a richer life with less? It's a journey towards a more intentional and fulfilling way of living. Tiny homes, big savings, affordability for a new generation. Tiny homes are not just a trend, they are a movement towards financial freedom and sustainable living. Let's face it, the cost of housing these days is enough to make anyone sweat. With skyrocketing prices and limited options, it's no wonder people are feeling the pressure. In many parts of the country, owning a traditional home feels like an impossible dream, especially for younger generations. Millennials and Gen Z are finding it increasingly difficult to break into the housing market. That's where tiny homes come in. These compact, efficient living spaces offer a viable alternative to traditional housing. Building or buying a tiny home can be significantly cheaper than a conventional house. The cost savings are substantial, making home ownership more accessible. We're talking a fraction of the cost. Imagine saving tens of thousands of dollars or even more. That means lower mortgage payments, or even better, no mortgage at all. Imagine the relief of being debt-free, and the savings don't stop there. Tiny homes often come equipped with energy-efficient appliances, further reducing your monthly expenses. Smaller spaces mean lower utility bills, less maintenance, and less temptation to buy things you don't need. It's a simpler, more intentional way of living. It's about being smart with your money and your resources. Smart home devices can help you monitor and reduce energy usage, adding to your savings. Imagine this: more money in your pocket for experiences, travel, or pursuing your passions. The financial freedom tiny homes offer can open up a world of possibilities. That's the kind of freedom a tiny home can offer. It's not just about saving money, it's about gaining the freedom to live life on your own terms. Living green in small tiny homes, big on sustainability. In a world grappling with climate change, we need to find ways to live more sustainably. Tiny homes offer a path towards a lighter environmental footprint. Think about it. Smaller spaces require less energy to heat and cool. Many tiny homes are also built with sustainable materials like reclaimed wood and recycled metal. And let's not forget about off-grid living. With solar panels, composting toilets, and rainwater harvesting systems, tiny homes can operate independently from traditional utilities. Living in a tiny home means consuming less and wasting less. It's about being mindful of our impact on the planet and making choices that reflect our values. Less is more, embracing minimalism in a tiny home. We live in a culture of excess. We're constantly bombarded with messages telling us to buy more stuff. But the truth is, all that stuff doesn't necessarily make us happier. Living in a tiny home forces you to confront your relationship with material possessions. You have to ask yourself, what do I truly need, and what can I live without? This process of decluttering and simplifying can be incredibly liberating. It allows you to focus on what truly matters: experiences, relationships, personal growth. It's not about deprivation, it's about intentionality. It's about choosing quality over quantity and experiences over possessions. Section 5. Your home, your way. Customization and the tiny home advantage. One of the coolest things about tiny homes is their versatility. Forget cookie-cutter designs. With a tiny home, you're in the driver's seat when it comes to customization. Want a cozy loft bedroom? No problem. Dreaming of a chef's kitchen? You got it. Need a dedicated workspace? They can build that in too. The possibilities are endless. And don't think you have to sacrifice quality for size. Many tiny homes are built with high-end materials and appliances. You can have a small home that feels luxurious and personalized. Tiny homes are a blank canvas for your imagination. They allow you to create a space that reflects your unique style and meets your specific needs. Section 6. Hitting the road, tiny homes, and the allure of mobility. For some folks, the appeal of tiny homes goes beyond just downsizing their living space. It's about embracing a life of freedom, adventure, and endless possibilities. That's where tiny homes on wheels come in, offering a unique lifestyle. Imagine hitching your home to a truck and hitting the open road with no fixed destination. Want to spend a few months by the beach soaking up the sun and surf? Go for it. Feel like exploring the mountains, breathing in the fresh air, and hiking the trails? No problem. Your home travels with you, adapting to your ever-changing desires. This nomadic lifestyle isn't for everyone, as it requires a certain mindset and adaptability. But for those with a thirst for adventure and a love for the open road, it's incredibly appealing. It's about saying yes to new experiences, embracing the unknown, and living life on your own terms. Tiny homes on wheels offer a unique combination of flexibility and stability, allowing you to have the best of both worlds. You have the comfort of your own space, no matter where life takes you, ensuring that home is always where you are. Section 7. Finding community, the rise of tiny home villages. You might think living in a tiny home means sacrificing community, but that couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, the tiny house movement is fostering a new kind of community. Across the country, tiny home villages are popping up. These communities offer a sense of belonging and shared values. Residents often come together for potlucks, workshops, and to support each other. It's about creating connections with like-minded individuals who value sustainability, simplicity, and intentional living. It's about building relationships that extend beyond your doorstep. In a world that can often feel isolating, tiny home communities offer a refreshing sense of connection and support. Section 8. Building a sustainable future, tiny homes as a solution. The challenges facing our planet are real. Climate change, resource depletion, and housing affordability are issues we can't ignore. Tiny homes aren't a magic bullet, but they represent a shift in thinking. They offer a more sustainable and attainable way to live. By embracing smaller, more efficient homes, we can reduce our environmental impact. By challenging the notion that bigger is always better, we can create a more equitable and accessible housing market. The tiny home movement is about more than just houses. It's about creating a more sustainable and just future for everyone. Section 9. The financial freedom of tiny homes, investing in what matters. Let's talk about money, folks. Specifically, let's talk about how much of it we pour into our homes. Mortgages, property taxes, maintenance costs, it adds up fast. Tiny homes offer a different path. By choosing to live smaller, you free up a significant chunk of change. That's money you can invest in your passions, your education, or your future. Maybe you've always dreamed of starting your own business. Maybe you want to travel the world. Maybe you just want the peace of mind that comes with financial security. Tiny homes empower you to make choices that align with your values. It's about investing in your life, not just your living space. Section 10. Overcoming challenges. Tiny living isn't always easy. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Living in a tiny home isn't always easy. It takes adjustment, creativity, and a willingness to adapt. You have to get used to living with less stuff. You might have to get creative with storage solutions. And yes, you might bump elbows with your loved ones from time to time. But for many people, the challenges are far outweighed by the rewards. It's about finding freedom in simplicity, connection in community, and purpose in a life less ordinary. The key is to go into it with your eyes wide open. Do your research, connect with other tiny homeowners, and be honest with yourself about your needs and priorities. Section 11. Tiny homes, big impact, a movement poised to transform living. The tiny home movement is more than just a trend. It's a cultural shift that's challenging the way we think about housing, sustainability, and the pursuit of happiness. It's about recognizing that bigger isn't always better. It's about choosing experiences over possessions. It's about living with intention and purpose. As more and more people embrace this lifestyle, we can expect to see a ripple effect. We'll see more innovative designs, more supportive communities, and a greater emphasis on sustainable living. So folks, take a closer look at the tiny house movement. It might just be the big idea that changes the way we live, for the better.